Welcome back to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. We got MotoGP coming up this past weekend. We had MotoGP this last past weekend, World Superbike and Moto America. So we have a lot to talk about. We're gonna spend some time with the guys tonight and chop it up, man, because it's been crazy. Some unexpected things, some expected things, a lot of rumors and all that fun stuff. Before we begin, I want to shout out the folks that comment. Like, subscribe, that's doing it. That's trying to keep us on our toes. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Woodcraft, one of the affiliates of the Be Forever Cool show / Rexy45. Mention the code and get some gear. If you're going racing, if you're riding the street, if you want clip-ons, if you feel like your bike is just not as comfortable as you would like and you got to deal with the ergonomics, Woodcraft is a place to go and get dialed in. If you're down here in Florida or probably anywhere in the U.S. and want some Pirelli tires, check out Mark 10 at Mark 10 Motorsport. Mention the Be Forever Cool podcast as well. And last but not least, even though I'm rocking a Black Hawk t-shirt tonight, we got merch as well for the Be Forever Cool show. So go to BeForeverCool.com and get some merch, some cool t-shirts. I like them. They're very comfortable. I am a stickler when it comes to t-shirts and such things. I like quality, and I feel like what we have is some really good quality, and you'll really enjoy rocking it. With no further ado, though, let's bring the guys in and see what's going on with them. So, Harry, man, welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just ready to talk about this past weekend, man. A lot of good races happened all around the world, man. I'm just prepared to see what everybody's opinion is and just ready to talk about motorcycle racing.
Yeah, is it difficult to watch all that racing? Is it like binge watching your favorite show?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I was the whole Sunday. I was clear my whole schedule, 3:00 in the morning all the way to 4:00 in the evening. Took a little nap. Yeah, energy drink.
Nice. That's what's up, man. Well, yeah, we're gonna get into it, man. You guys, and what you gotta get off your chest. Jordan, man, welcome to the show. How you doing, man? It's been a few weeks for you, man. How's Boston treating you?
Life is beautiful. It's finally riding weather, so I'm happier than ever. I've had the bike out. I've made this little area in Plymouth my own little Isle of Man TT circuit. So, okay. so at least I've been having a blast lately. So things are looking up and up.
Nice, man. Yeah, man. I saw some of the IG posts that you've posted, man, and it looks like you're having fun up at North, man. I got to get up there. Are you going to the Loudon Classic, man? Yeah, let's talk about that. That's coming up.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely have to look into that because I just booked 2 track days through Cyclesmith Track Days. I'm gonna be going to Palmer for the first time. I hear that's a pretty good track, so I'll end up getting to stretch my legs out there for the first time.
Nice. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Palmer's. I've only been there once. I enjoy myself. I definitely would go back. So you should have fun, man, for sure. Tyson, man, welcome to the show, man. I know you're going to Loudon for the Classic. What's good, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, Rexy. Things have been good here. As Jordan said, weather's finally nice. Finally get back out there on the street. Carve up some roads. But I'll probably be at. It's this weekend, yeah.
No, it's Father's Day weekend.
Father's Day weekend, yeah. I'll probably go up for that, for sure. I probably won't race that weekend, but I'll definitely go up. I'm still waiting for my helmet. I ordered the new Scorpion helmet, and it still hasn't shipped yet. I'm pissed.
Oh, man. You might need to get a loaner. I mean, if you're trying to get on a track. It is that, yeah, I feel you. That's kind of tough, man. And that's your brand, right? So, it's not like...
Yeah. Well, they just came out with an FIM rated helmet for like $700. So I was like, any other FIM rated helmet is $1,200. And I was like, I mean, I'm a slut for a deal. So
that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm ready to talk MotoGP on World Superbike.
Ready to talk MotoGP. What is there to talk about World Superbike? It's just Boliga.
Oh, come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. I still think there's stuff to watch. I hear you. I mean, it's easy to say. I mean, he's doing what he's doing. It's not easy. He's 22 wins, this whole season. He's breaking records. So that is a big deal. But I think someone is going to beat him before the end of the season. I don't think he's going to go undefeated for the whole season. But let's talk about MotoGP, guys. We start with Harry, man. This past round was at Mugello. One of my favorite tracks. You said it. You said the guys that you said I was going to get on the podium. They got on the podium, so you must feel good about that.
Oh, absolutely.
What are your thoughts about the weekend, man?
It was good to see Mark back out there, and that's Valentino's country. So, they kind of talked a lot of trash about Mark, but he still prevailed. It was good to, Raul Fernandez, with all the drama surrounded him, just for him to win that sprint. It was just a good thing to see, because he's been dealing with a lot of stuff, and, he don't know what he's going to be doing next year. But for him to win that sprint, it's a confidence booster, and hopefully some manufacturer will think about picking him up, and maybe, whatever's going on with Trackhouse is not set in stone. So hopefully they give him another shot at it.
All right. I agree, man. Hopefully they will give him another shot, because I shouldn't say that. Hopefully he gets to stay in MotoGP. If Trackhouse doesn't give him a shot, it is what it is. I can understand why they didn't, for sure. So no doubt there. Jordan, man, what's good, man? What do you thought about the weekend, and what stood out to you?
Oh, Mugello, my favorite track. As I was there last year, it was nice to see, another record crowd. And there's nothing like racing in Mugello, but to see Bez under pressure come out, take number one in his home country for the first time, I think that was a beautiful sight. All the big wigs that were there, everyone was telling him, "Oh, you have to win." So it's kind of the first race where the pressure was on him. He came out, he delivered. I thought he was going to take the sprint, but as we've seen all year, the sprint has been his one semi-weak point. But even then, he did pretty good in the sprint, collected points. It was good to see Raul have a good showing. He was saying before me, Hario, I absolutely agree. I think he deserves to stay in MotoGP. There are a lot of new guys coming, but at the same time, experience does mean something. And the boy can ride. He has a MotoGP win, now a sprint win. So hopefully he gets to stay in the game.
Okay. No, I agree, man. We'll see. And we'll talk about that a little bit. The rumors are always kicking around. So I think he's safe, if I had to put money on it. Tyson, man, you caught it. What's good, man? What do you think about the race weekend? Any surprises outside of Fernandez to you?
I don't know if I noticed any real surprises. It was good to see Diego Moreira up at the front of the sprint for the beginning of it. It really was a shame to watch him slowly get picked off. I think he finished 10th or 11th in the sprint. It really was unfortunate, but no, it was good to see Raul up the front again. I think definitely from his first couple of years when he was riding in MotoGP, it's good to see him turn that sort of narrative around for himself. He clearly can ride. He's clearly doing well. He's got a sprint win and a race win, and it would be good to see him back in MotoGP next year and continuing that. It was good to see Mark out there again. He was looking good, but he still looked a little tentative on the bike. He looks like he was definitely struggling still. But man, these Aprilia bikes are killing it. I really just want to see Jorge and Marco go at it for the title this year. I hope they can trade some wins back and forth.
Let me ask, guys. Before on Friday and before qualifying was kind of sorted out. Did you out of all the riders? Did you kind of see that Bez was going to be the guy to get pole position, break lap records? Because I was kind of like I was leaning towards Bagnaia. I'm like, okay, Bagnaia might got something, might be able to pull something out. What are your thoughts on what Bez was able to do, and on Friday did that seem normal? I guess. Start with Hario.
Yeah, like I thought honestly, I want a Priya guy. Like I like Ducati, but this year I'm a big time Bears fan, and just I knew just for something the way the season has been going so far, I knew he was gonna try to put his best foot forward because he's on a factory bike. He's on a what? He's on a Prius, so I knew he was gonna do whatever he needed to do to try to win. Well, unfortunately, he didn't win the sprint, but I knew just something in me was just like, man, I know he's gonna try to pull it off, and he pulled it off. And it just shows his maturity from him going from the VR46 to where he is now. And the guys that's in that paddock for Aprilia, they are really putting, really tuning those bikes to perfection. And he's the product of what the work has been done. He started just like from last year. Like he has built that bike from last year to this year, and all the feedback he's given to him, it's great to see his success. Just it coming to fruition on the grid, and it's his. I'm not gonna say it's his to lose because there's a lot of good riders on the grid, but hopefully he can pull it off and win a championship.
Right. I mean, it's starting to seem that way, but it's one of those things where it wasn't a foregone conclusion at the end of last season that Bez would be the guy that would be at the top of the chart. I mean, we were impressed what he was doing at the end of the season, but we assumed Marquez was just going to come back and dominate this year and run away with it, and he seems to be the one to have it figured out. Harry, what are your thoughts on Aprilia and let's talk about Bagnaia a little bit, even Marquez, because Marquez after being out for a little qualified better in front of Bagnaia, but Bagnaia kind of looks like he's getting a feel for the bike. What are your thoughts, man?
Oh,
sorry,
I think Jordan.
I meant Jordan. Sorry, I meant Jordan.
Okay.
Oh gosh, it was great to see Bagnaia at the front. You can always tell Bagnaia when he's on by his body position. You see him hanging off the bike more. His entry is where he pushes it. If Bagnaia doesn't feel good with his front tire or his front suspension, he can't push entry, which means he's not going to be fast. So seeing him this weekend get into the groove, get into the setup window where he kind of wanted the bike, and see it come out and be able to hang with the Aprilias. And also, you saw this weekend, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Ducati's top speed, the mid-range, and the way that it gets off of the corner. There's nothing wrong with that bike. It may eat up a tire a little bit more than the Aprilia, and maybe it doesn't have maybe 5 to 7 miles per hour in the top end in the perfect condition, but there's nothing wrong with that Ducati. So to see what everyone is doing on the Aprilia versus them, it's really good to see. It is good to see Mark back. I do think he should stay out until he's 100%. Otherwise, I have to hear every Tom, Dick, and Harry speculate, oh, just wait until he's okay. Just wait. Nah, my man, stay home, get good, then come back, because his bike is head and shoulders way better than the KTM. And you saw Pedro Costa, on a way lesser machinery, just absolutely outride him. And then Mark would get on a straight and blow the doors off him. But you can see riding style, and it's my opinion, 100%. Mark does not want Pedro Acosta to be in that factory team alongside him with the same machinery and the same guys. And that young guy in that next to him, he absolutely doesn't want it. That's why he wants the clause. That's why he wants the retirement clause put in there just in case, because I have a feeling when it comes down to it and next year they're switching up, it's a young man's game. Oh, man, that boy is hungry. And I think Mark's in trouble. Writing's on the wall, in my opinion. You might as well ride off into the sunset. You got to do it at some point.
No, I hear that. Hopefully it'll be a little bit longer. Tyson, do you buy what Jordan's saying, that there's nothing wrong with that Ducati? Because, I think they all kind of say there's a little something wrong with it. I think Marquez tried it, and Digia just rides it a little bit better than Pecco right now. But he looked good this weekend.
Yeah. Pecco did look good this weekend. And to what Jordan said, he's absolutely right. You can see when Pecco's feeling it. Other days he's hanging out in 11th. He looks wooden. You know, he's like, he just looks so stiff on the bike. And when he's feeling good, he's so fluid, and he's just working that bike, and he looks good on it. And that race on Sunday, he looked good on that bike, and it was good to see him at the top of the grid again. Yeah, I can agree to an extent with Jordan that like drive out of corners and that top speed, like I'm sure they'd want it to be better, but it's not bad. You know, it's certainly serviceable for the bike, but I feel like they're really struggling on that front tire, and all the Ducati guys seem to struggle as they like are going into the apex on the corner. Like they seem to want to be able to turn it a little bit more, and it just keeps sort of pushing them out, like you know, a little bit understeering. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not that we necessarily have it on bikes, but yeah, I definitely think they're struggling with that like late corner sort of front grip.
Right. I mean, you know, you talk about Pecco feeling it. I mean, to be able to get past in this, I think, second to last corner and to fight back against Agura was pretty impressive, because in all season when anybody passed him, he didn't have a fight in him. He just you know, walking into the paddock a little bit more upset because of it. So for him to be able to have enough towards the end was pretty impressive. What are your thoughts, Tyson?
I mean, yeah, it was good to see some fight in them, but I just worry that that's this weekend and not next weekend and the weekend after and the weekend after that. Like I feel like we kind of saw this last year, where he'd have a few tough rounds. We'd get a good round out of Pecco, and we'd all be like, this is it. He's turning a new leaf. He's going to start doing better. And then it was right back to the norm, which was pretty mediocre weekends for him.
Right. Let me ask this, guys. You know, we'll go back to Aprilia. You know, Massimo, I think that's his name, and I could be wrong, came out and said, you know, we had a talk to work together. It kind of seemed like it, in a sense, because Jorge didn't seem to try to do anything to catch Bez, or maybe Bez just had a little bit more. But, you know, do you think this is something that can last all season, where these guys can work together, and what that would look like? Because it's easy to say, let's work together. But as you know, as a team, you actually got to work together to get chemistry to be better. So, you know, what are your thoughts, Hario?
Okay, so like I could let's just start from the Sunday race, right? You know, in comparison to what you're saying, because when Raul Fernandez, that first turn when he was right behind Bez, Jorge Martin was right on the right beside him. And I think that, you know, what happened to him and Jorge in the past probably got that mental thing. Like, oh man, I don't want to take a risk. I don't want to take a risk next to Martin because I don't want to crash him. And I think that talk, just like you said, they had that talk. And I think that had a big play into it, because I think if you watch how Raul Fernandez was leading that sprint, Jorge Martin could have caught him. He was right there. He could have caught him, and then it just seemed like he just kind of slowed down. But I guess, you know, it's one of those things of, if one of us in the lead, you know, help them stay in the lead. And I really don't like that, because that kind of takes the fun out of racing a little bit with those kind of particular team orders. But it is what it is, man. You know, like, I guess they just want to make sure they secure the championship, but it's not good for racing. But at the same time, I do understand the concept.
Okay, no doubt, for real. What are your thoughts, Jordan, on that, man? You know, or team orders or work together. We all, if Aprilia one Aprilia win, we all win. Can it last? And is that, you know, it's like, you know, when you're racing and you're out front, they always kind of, you can't take the gas off too much, because you make mistakes, right? So, you know, and as you heard Hario talked about Fernandez in that first lap, he might have just gave a little more space than he normally would because of that talk.
Oh yeah, they definitely had a talk, like a light talk. There's nothing like respect to Hario. I don't think there's anything close to team orders. Raul was simply the faster guy. Martin pushed a little bit. He tried to catch him. He had a couple of front end moments, and then that's when the maturity of Martin realized like for when he won the championship on a satellite bike, mind you. He said, I could keep pushing, I could tuck the front and crash out, because he just had, 6 crashes the weekend before. So he's still coming back and still building confidence after kind of a bad weekend. So after a couple moments when you're chasing a fast boy bike, I mean, it sounds all good, easy. Oh, just catch the guy, but it's not the funnest when your front tires is cooking and you're following somebody. You can arrive to him, but by the time you get to him, even with a lap or two to go, even though it's a sprint, your front tire is going to be screaming. If you're having moments a little bit and you just crashed 6 times the weekend before, I feel you're going to give a little bit of margin, and it's showing a little bit of maturity on Martin's part by not pushing all the time, because sometimes he can overcook it. But he's starting to show that's why he won the championship before. So as long as he takes the points as he is now, I think it's going to be a close championship between him and Bez. He's going to keep Bez definitely honest, and then who knows, Digia maybe it's going to keep on coming, because he seems like the strongest Ducati and the strongest manufacturer that's the closest to him at the moment.
All right. Tyson, man, you heard all that. Is Martin, he came out the winner out of Mugello, 2 second places. He didn't really give up 6 points. He probably gave up a couple of points, maybe. What are your thoughts?
It was interesting because I didn't know that Massimo Rivola had this conversation about teamwork with the guys. And when I was watching the sprint and race, I noticed, I was like, it didn't seem like the Aprilias were racing each other all that hard. And it seemed like everybody else on the grid was racing each other pretty hard, passing back and forth. So it makes sense to a degree. And I agree with Hario that, like, it sucks for the racing, but for Aprilia to come away with a championship, I think for them it's worth it to play that strategy if that's actually how they're doing it. Who is it? It's been Honda, Yamaha, and Ducati for the last 35, 40 years, basically.
Yeah.
So, like, for some other manufacturer to finally win the championship, and they're a pretty small outfit, like, I'm not surprised they're trying to use every tool in the toolbox to get this championship in the bag. And I mean, I don't really fault them for it.
Right. And it's one of these unfortunate things to see, because they're in a similar boat to Ducati in 24. They had some really strong riders, but at the end of the season, they were blowing all that up. And it's, right now at the moment, I think the only person at the end of the season that's going to be with Aprilia is Bez. But before we get into that part, how, like I said earlier, Bez didn't seem like the guy to be the guy to get the credit, but he's been kind of just coming down, doing his job. How, I don't even know. I say cool because part of the show name is cool, but how cool is it, for him to pole, win the race, win at his home track? When your mentor is Valentino Rossi, and Rossi's done so much great things at Mugello, and I didn't realize that Bez has never won in Mugello. So how cool was that to see?
You never even got a podium there.
Yeah, never even got a podium. What are your thoughts, Mario?
Man, I thought it was amazing. I felt like I was there, like, just to see the crowd just, in an uproar over him, and just to see that emotion, man. Like, you can go, like, you can win anywhere else. Like, you can be whatever you want to be, and everybody else in another country can say, hey, you're the best. But when you go home and everybody, your talent is on display, and you prove to everybody that I'm the best, it's no feeling like that. And I was just so happy for him, like, I mean, I call everybody I'm in my mid-40s, so, like, to see a kid like that, you raised right by that circuit right there, and then all of a sudden, like a childhood dream, you tell your parents sometimes, I'm gonna be racing here sometime. I'm gonna race here, and then you finally, your parents there, and then they see you in all your glitz and glamour, and you on the top podium listening to your country's national anthem. There's no feeling like that, man. Only feeling I could say that's compared to that is probably I I know Jordan probably know how this Tyson know how this feel. Like when you come back from a deployment, they play their national anthem, and the mission's over. It's just one of those feelings. Like it's no feeling like that. Like, so I was happy for him.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What are your thoughts, Jordan, on Bez?
Harry, you put it perfectly. I mean, for me, Bez is one of our. Actually, he's my favorite current rider. Especially being a VR46, rider, part of Rossi's camp. He's definitely just a top-notch guy. Not only that, I've met him probably 3 or 4 times. I have multiple autographs from him. Every time, the first time I met him was in Mugello, Italy last year, actually. And he's the coolest, most down-to-earth guy. Shook his hand. I thought I was going to break it. But he just seems like a really awesome, down-to-earth guy, so I'm just glad, and I hope the world for him. I picked him to start in the season. I wanted him to win the championship, and to see him in first place right now and winning at home, there's nothing like it. So he's living the dream. I just hope he stays on the bike good, because racing, anything can happen at any weekend. You can have a bad high side, this or that, and be out of the game. There goes the lead, there goes the dream. So I just hope he stays focused, which it seems that exactly what he's doing. He doesn't get a big head. He doesn't let the fame get to him. So just take it race by race, and I think we'll see him on the top step of the championship.
Right. No doubt. Man, Tyson, what are your thoughts, man? I mean, it's pretty impressive. I'm just looking at the standings and not realizing like Aprilia is in the top 6 in the standings. So, I mean, if they keep just, finishing the way they finish, I mean, they can win a lot of championships by the end of the season. Well, it's only 3 to get, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of cash. What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, I think they've pretty much wrapped up the championship at this point. I mean, obviously, there is a long championship to go. Anything can happen. Knock on wood. If something happens to Jorge or Bez, potentially ends their season. Like, that's terrible, but it could happen. But
right,
barring those scenarios, they pretty much have this locked up, in my opinion. I think they're like, what is it, almost 100 points above like the next closest Ducati. No, it's Fabio.
At least 70 points. 70 points. Oh no, wait, where am I at? Fabio's at 134, and Bez is at 173, so just 40 right now.
Like, I would like to believe that Fabio can, make an attempt and then make a run at the Aprilias, but I just don't have that kind of faith in Fabio to be that consistent and that high performing for the rest of the season to take up that points gap and then overcome the Aprilias. Like, I just don't see it happening. Same thing with Pedro. Like, I like Pedro. He's a hell of a talent, but he's not doing it on that KTM.
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
I mean, outside. I mean, Alex won a race, so we're not gonna take away from Alex. Furman won a race, so we're not gonna take away. So, but he is the most consistent, and I would have gone on a limb and said the same about Bez at the beginning of the year, and he's barring any situations, he would have been further up in the championship. But we'll see. I mean, I don't. I think Gian Antonio might run it. I think he might be the top guy by the end of the.
I'd love to see it
by the end of the year, because I think if he can qualify well, I mean, so 2 ifs: qualify well and don't get into any craziness in the first couple of laps. I think he'll find his way, because he's always one of the faster bikes. Him and Agura at the end of the season, and end the season, end of the race. So I mean, I it's when he gets into trouble and fall back. I mean, I think he was down to like 9th place or something like that in this past start or something like that. I mean, him and Morbidelli got pushed back. So it's crazy. What can you say about the other Ducatis that are not performing well or not as consistent? Because I mean, Goodyear is the only consistent Ducati right now. Marquez is injured, so we can say he's not consistent because of that. Both of the Marquezes because of that. But Furman, Morbidelli, they aren't hurt, and they're still kind of struggling. What are your thoughts, Jordan?
Oh yeah, you see flashes from them. I mean, for me, he did snap his femur, so coming back from that is probably not the greatest. But at the same time, yeah, he should be at the speed after a couple races, a little bit towards the front. But the Ducati, they are the closest bike to the Aprilia, so we do expect to see him at least, top six, top eight consistently. The other ones, Marquez, Alex is hurt. And other than that, who else do we have? Pecco finally showed out and and then there's Digia. Digia is the top performer at the moment. I think the thing with him, he needs to figure out how to start that Ducati, because off the line, he's probably only had maybe one decent start of the year. Every other start you see, he always goes backwards off the line. Maybe he'll have a decent qualifying, but then he goes backwards, and then he has to work it up, burn the tires a little bit, and then by the end of the race he's still strong and then coming back. So imagine if he's able to, like you said, qualify a little bit better, and then B, if he learns how to consistently get that Ducati off the line, then he's going to be definitely a thorn in the Ducati's side, because we can see he's one of the riders that's not afraid to sauce it up with Mark. He'll throw it up the inside of you, but he'll do it respectfully, and he has some very nice moves. He's not going to put you off too much or cause contact, like some other riders. So seeing those Ducatis that are not doing as good, maybe we'll see him towards the end of the season get a little bit better. Maybe Pecco will be a little bit more consistent. As he said, he's wants to challenge for race wins. It's always good talk from Pecco, but then again, you get to the next race weekend, and all of a sudden the front feeling isn't as good. And like Tyson was saying before, he just looks stiff on the bike sometimes when he's not feeling it, and you can tell. As soon as he's on, boom, you see the body position absolutely changes, and then he goes into his minor flow state. So
right. Yeah, no doubt. Harry, what are your thoughts, man, on Ducati? I know Jordan said Furman broke his femur, but he won after that. So, if you win a race after that, man, you healthy. Can Pecco's starting to find his way, but can these other Ducatis help Digia out?
Oh, absolutely. I think Jordan said this a couple of shows ago. Just like last year, they were so focused on making the bike for Mark, right? So Mark is not at 100%. So the focus got to be on Pecco and the other riders. And I think they're starting to see that, like, whatever they was doing for Mark, it's not for everybody, not for the other Ducati riders. And they're actually like taking the input and focusing on the other riders. And it's great to see. But I know for sure that the VR46 guys steer away from that. They have their own, they're their own tower. They only take whatever needs to be done, they're going to do it themselves. They're not taking any from the tower, from Ducati head to like, hey, I think you should change this, and how they share information between the manufacturers. And I think that's why VR46 has been so good from last year to this year, because they're doing their own thing. They're not following any of the notes or whatever they're doing at Linvo. They're actually like just focusing on their stuff. So like, it's good to see that. And I'm glad for Pecco, because he was struggling last year, and he seems like he's more happier, more lax this year. And he's actually, putting out, doing a good performance on Sunday.
All right. You think that Ducati needs to reach out to Valentino Rossi to come through? Because, when Bez started doing well last year, he's like, Valley came in and we worked on the bike and sorted out some things. And as you just mentioned, what VR46 is doing, and they're following their own path. So does Ducati need to talk to Valley, or it's more or less kind of just he's just looking out for his riders? He's also been on, it sounds like he's been on the record as saying that Ducati needs to do more for Pecco.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It goes back, and to your point, it goes back to when Valley was with riding on Ducati before he retired, before he went back to Yamaha. They wouldn't take his info, just the same way they did Jorge Lorenzo. And, hey, we're Ducati. We've been making motorcycles forever, and we've won championships. So, no, we're going to do our own thing. So it's one of those things where, hey, look, the big brother type thing. I know what I'm doing. Get out of my way type of situation.
Right. Man, Tyson, you heard all that. Rather than beat that horse any further, Ducati, let's talk about another horse that needs to be something like, we saw Diego Moreira, pass Marquez, which he wanted to do apparently before he retired. We saw Zarco was doing well before he got hurt. The Hondas are showing some consistency, but they're not showing the same consistency that all the Aprilia riders are showing. Did you expect more from them by now?
I was hoping for more, certainly. They certainly have these flash in the pan moments where you're like, this could be it. And then the next race, you're like, no, that certainly wasn't it. It was good to see Diego up there at the top. He obviously seemed to be struggling quite hard with keeping up his performance there in the end of the sprint race. Yeah. Which, as I was watching, I was just thinking, I'm like, this isn't good if he's already hemorrhaging places at the end of a sprint race. Like, how are they going to do in the main race? But I think he did reasonably well. I think he finished 10th in the main race, which was good. But they just need to. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to get their riders into the top 10 like consistently. It seems like a rider might kiss the top 10, and the rest are 13 to 20th.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. They got to do something. It's kind of wild to see where Honda is at right now. What are your thoughts, Hario, on Honda, where they're at? What, for a rookie to be doing, even though the bike, we could see, I think all of them, I think Mir was the only one didn't struggle towards the end of the race. I mean, he usually would crash out, and one time he did finish on the podium with probably a pressure issue. But, Diego got, I think he's, 15 points overall. So he's in front of, a lot of riders that's won races.
Yeah. I don't know, like Honda just hasn't been what they needed to be, like ever since Pedrosa and Marquez left. I think it was just time for them to, I think whatever needed to be done, the upgrades they needed to do while Ducati was, reigning supreme and they were battling with Dovizioso. I think they should have, started to progress more to see where everything was going. But, being hard-headed, like don't want to change with the times, and I think that's the reason why. But it was like you said, it was good to see Moreira, put in the work. And like third place, he hung in there for a second, and then the other talented guys came from behind him and overtook him. But it was good to see him. I don't know like how consistent Honda can be this year, and I just don't understand it. I just don't understand how you can fall from grace like that. Like, along with Yamaha, too. Like, man, they really hurt my feelings, too. Man, hate to see, like, such a good rider like Top Rat coming to a situation like this. He can't even crack the top 15, man. Goodness.
Right. Yeah. No,
I think it was top Yamaha this weekend, though. He might have been top Yamaha in the race, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Sure, that's something going against Quartararo and Quartararo.
Miller was in front of him.
Miller was in front of him.
Yeah, Miller was in front of him in the main race. And
then, I thought it was top Yamaha. Never mind.
And then in the sprint, nope, not the top Yamaha. Not yet. Which is, let's talk to Tyson about, Honda and where they're at, and also Yamaha, because they're struggling. But Diego seems to be doing a lot better as a rookie, and the Honda is in the outside of top end speed. The Honda, he seems to be doing better, and the Honda and the Yamaha, I think they're kind of down the same road as far as level of where they are right now. What are your thoughts, Tyson?
Yeah, I think they're on a similar sort of rank in the standings. I feel like, it's definitely Aprilia, Ducati, KTM somewhere in the middle, and then Honda and Yamaha down there at the bottom. Yamaha definitely seems to keep struggling. I really hope that their V4 works out and it is a more consistent ride for the riders, and they can actually start fighting for some decent finishes and points. But I think it was Hario who said that, it really is a shame that a talent like Toprak comes to MotoGP and he's saddled with that dog shit Yamaha. Like, it really is a shame. It would be nice to see him on something semi-competitive and see what he can actually do. I mean, the good thing for Bulliga is that if he comes over, at least he's not going to be stuck with Yamaha. Ducati's not at the top, but they're certainly not at the bottom.
Right, and it sounds like he's going to be on the
Aprilia, not a Ducati.
He's going to be on the VR46.
Is he going to Aprilia?
Yeah.
Bulliga?
I hear Aprilia is nabbing him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Aprilia is being very extremely aggressive in the rider market. I must say, which Rivola, it's a testament to Rivola, not only going outside MotoGP but going to F1, bringing in engineers, and then building that rocket ship of a bike. Him from a team lead, that guy has put in some work, and he deserves a lot of praise.
He did the same thing with Suzuki.
Yeah,
but exactly. He's a beast. He's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. He's leaving at the end of the year, though. So,
he's going to Honda.
And
you're talking about Brevio. I'm talking about Rivola. He's the one for the factory Aprilia.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's similar name. Sorry.
Yeah. But I will say, it'll be interesting. I think for Bulliga coming over, and I posed this to the guys since you brought it up. Can he do well? We see Diego's coming from Moto2 doing better than he is. Somebody pointed out in the comments that when Bulliga was in Moto2, he was like top 15, right? He, what I mean? It's one thing to be in World Superbike, because another thing to come in. So do you think that if Toprak was on a Ducati or Aprilia instead of a Yamaha, he would be further up the chain? Or would he be similar to what Raul went through in his first season, second season kind of thing? We'll start with Tyson. What are your thoughts, man?
I think if Toprak was on a Ducati or a KTM or something like that, I don't think he's going to be the top in his manufacturer, but he certainly is going to be better than what he's doing right now. And if Bulliga ends up on that Aprilia, I think he's doing well for himself. I think he's probably not going to beat Marco Bezzecchi, but I don't think he's going to be the worst Aprilia rider on the grid. And I definitely think he'll probably be mixing up in the top 10 if he's on one of the top bikes.
Right.
I think it would be quite a shock if he gets on that Aprilia, and Aprilia's similar performance as it is this year, and he's fighting for 15th. And I think that'll probably prove to people that, the changeover from Superbike is not a viable solution for MotoGP.
Right.
But to the point of, you're saying that Bulliga's a top 15 guy in MotoGP or Moto2, most people say the biggest step for riders is Moto3 to Moto2, not Moto2 to MotoGP. Right. So I can see that him just struggling with those Moto2 bikes just because he wasn't used to it.
Right. All right, no doubt there. What are your thoughts, Hario?
Yeah, isn't Bulliga filling in for somebody at the Hungarian race this upcoming weekend?
Nah, that's his teammate, Ika.
Oh, Ika, okay.
Yeah, Ika's filling in for Alex Marquez, which I also thought was weird. How come it wasn't Bulliga? But if the rumors are true and he's with Aprilia, if he's gonna go to Aprilia, I can see that, because he is a test rider for MotoGP, Bulliga, under his contract. So it would make sense for him to fill in, but he's also fighting for the championship, so maybe he doesn't want to get hurt. Go ahead.
Yeah. What was the question again? I kind of got mixed up.
The step for if Bulliga coming in, what would that be like comparison to Toprak coming into MotoGP? And then also, again, we won't. They're rumors, so we don't want until they actually advertise, come out and say which team they signed for. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, if he goes to a Ducati Aprilia, I think he would do well. But I remember something about Toprak when he was coming to Yamaha, and I think it was very important that, like, one key factor that a lot of people forget about, that he wanted his engineer to come with him, that he's been had from Yamaha to BMW, and he wanted to bring him to Yamaha, but Yamaha told him no. And I think that's one of the main reasons why he's having issues. Top Rack's having issues in MotoGP because, you know, like without your engineer that knows your riding style, you start all the way back from scratch, and they don't allow that person that knows your riding style to the T, doesn't come over with you to assist you. I think that's one of the main factors why Top Rack is not doing too good, because, you know, the new engineer is getting used to his riding style, and it's a whole progression thing during the season, and he'll probably come along later on in the season. But for Bulaga, when he comes, I think if he doesn't go to a Aprilia Ducati, he's going to have the same outcome, just like Top Rack.
Mm-hmm. I agree. KTM guys, I mean, they're kind of falling apart as well. You know, what's the deal with KTM? You know, you hear the rumors of the riders being, you know, for next season, but that's no excuse for this season. I mean, you know, is it just? I mean, Vinales, he struggled. I mean, he's just coming back, but he struggled a bit. You know, he's gonna take him some time to get himself up to shape. But we see Bastianini, Bender, those guys, you know, making mistakes. What are your thoughts on KTM, where they're at? They should be, you know, doing better than they're doing right now, or is it just what you guys thought would happen? We start with Jordan.
Oh, sorry. Just say that backside of that question again.
KTM, should they be doing better than they're doing right now?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So I'm a firm believer. I mean, you can only do what the machinery is going to allow you to do. If the machinery is not there, I mean, you can't expect a rider to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Every week, you hear an announcer say, "Oh, is this the week for Acosta?" I mean, barring like something crazy happen or something otherwise, the machinery is just not there. He's riding Acosta's riding head and shoulders above any other rider in KTM. You see where the other bikes are, the way that he's putting it, on qualifying and in the races. That the mere fact that he's up there and battling with these guys is a testament to his riding skill above the other guys. So I'm not going to fault the other guys. It just shows Bender, who I've been saying for years, mediocre, and you're going to be out. And some of the other guys is either you have the innate ability to work a bike or you don't, or you can work around issues. The KTM has multiple issues. It used to be an absolute rocket. They've lost a little bit of top end speed. Other than that, they eat up tires. You can qualify good, but if you have a bike with an engine whose innate nature is that it eats up tires, you're not going to ride around that. So it's same thing like how you guys were talking about Yamaha before. Some guys is, knocking Top Rack. If you look at every result from every single race, he's doing great as a rookie with who he's racing with in Yamaha. A lot of the times with his qualifying or in the races where he's finishing, if he hasn't had a penalty, he's right up there in the races in his very, very first year. And like I said, a rider can only do what the machinery does. Yamaha came out, they built the V4 in a single year, and it's about a second to 1.2 seconds off per lap. That in itself is actually, when you think of it, is actually a great feat from Yamaha to build a V4 to scrap inline, and then to go with an absolute new engine concept and to do it in a year and to be a 1 to 1.2 seconds off. That's actually a very, very good feat. Sadly, it absolutely sucks being on that project, but you can only do what the bike can do. So all these guys, knocking Top Rack or saying, "Oh, I think he should be better." He's on a V4 bike that changes every single week, and people forget this is a test year for him. And then next year is when we can say, okay, he's at a year in, and then hopefully the machinery for Yamaha changes, and then we can, say we're okay, a little bit closer on a level. But that being said, also from before, I don't think Honda's on the same level as Yamaha. To say that, I think is a little crazy. Yamaha is clearly the worst manufacturer. They're definitely at the rear. Honda, I'd say that them and KTM are probably neck and neck if you want to look at results and go and battle for all the riders. So that's just my 2 cents.
Hario, KTM. Let's talk about KTM and what Acosta is doing, because he hasn't won, but he has been finishing the races outside of the mechanicals, where last year he was crashing out. So what are your thoughts where KTM is at right now, and can they pull it together? Can the Vinales in the second half of the season, help Acosta out?
It goes back to like when Zarco first got there, but he ended up leaving. They have a fast motorcycle, but they have a suspension issue, and I don't know why they haven't fixed the issue. The bike is fast, one of the fastest bikes on the grid, but if you can't fix the suspension, I heard it has a lot of chatter, and like Jordan said, it heats up the tires, too fast. And then that, the talent of Acosta is the only reason why they're even in the top 6, top 5. And yeah, it's just a suspension issue, and they've never fixed it. Like from the experimental things they've been trying to do. But if they could fix that suspension issue, and it would relieve a lot of pressure for the tires, and they can maybe place in the top 3.
Okay, all right, no doubt. Tyson, what are your thoughts on KTM? Can they finish beyond top 3?
As a constructor in the championship,
that's the only way.
No, they're not going to be above top 3. But they'll be third for sure. But I think they're doing pretty well for facing bankruptcy not too long ago.
Right, out of it now.
But it's also how much money is their parent company now actually giving them for their team? Like, how much money are they actually being able to develop their bike? Is it the bare minimum? Are they going above and beyond? But I think they're kind of in this lonely island of much better than Honda and Yamaha, but just not quite as good as Ducati or Aprilia. Right. And I really don't see any way they can break out of that without some serious cash injection to develop their bike. And I haven't heard any news about their parent company doing any of that sort of stuff. Like, obviously they've kept the team afloat, and they're still racing, but I haven't heard any news of them we're going to invest $50 million in our program to make sure that we're going to win the championship next year. That kind of thing. Well,
I don't think they've mentioned anything specifically for departments, but I think as a whole they got a bunch of cash. But with any company being taken over, the new owners are going to be counting every nut and bolt and screw. So you're not going to go down the road. Go ahead.
But they took over big KTM as well. The race team is this small little piece off to the side.
Right.
They're buying KTM for the bikes that they manufacture and sell to the public, not for this race team. So that's kind of what I mean is we have no idea how much money they are actually putting into this race team right now. And usually when this stuff happens, the first thing that goes is any sort of racing programs.
Right. Well, Tech 3 did sign back with them. So, and I got to assume Gunter, whatever his last name is, he's a smart dude. And I assume if they felt like they were going to hold back a little bit, I think he would have ran over to Pramac or other options as well. So, who knows? But we'll find out, I guess, is a better way to put it. But, I love the back-to-back race weekends because, racing should be every weekend. I mean, I know you got to train, so you travel, so it's always not as easy. And trust me, it's not as easy as the helper to the circus, for sure. They're in Bollington Park in Hungary. I believe is this the second year that they're there? Last year was the first year. What do you guys think of the layout of the track, and what do you expect to see this weekend coming up? We start with Hario.
From last year that I watched, it's a very technical GP, and they got to change it. And did you ask for our predictions too?
Not yet.
Or you just Okay, all right. I think it's a very technical track. I don't think they're going to be able to approach it like the previous races because there's a lot of good twisties in this one right here. It's not going to be one of those overtake back and forth type things. It's just one of those things where you got to wait and see what happens. But I think it's going to be a good race. I always love a good technical race because that's when the real skill is being on display.
Right. Yeah, same here, man. I didn't do it. I can pretend like I did it deliberately, but Black Hawk is a very technical, small track. It's a small track, so it's technical just because it's not a lot of space out there. Jordan, what are your thoughts, man, on the park? Is this a good look for MotoGP, or are there much better places? Better is not the right word. Other places they could be at.
There's definitely other places, but I think it's nice. It's a good change of pace. It's a little bit, like more technical, a little bit tighter. So a lot of your, power. It's not a power hungry circuit, so it levels the playing field a little bit. So maybe. Yamaha. Yeah, so maybe so some of those bikes that are struggling to get off the corner and then that mid-range and top end, that gets neutralized a little bit, so they won't feel the effect. So we may see the Yamahas maybe a little bit up there, a little bit higher. Probably not, but maybe we'll see some of the, definitely the Hondas. Maybe some of those will come to play, and then other than that, the KTM's maybe they'll have a little bit better of a chance. We already know the Aprilias and the Ducatis are going to go at it. It's just a matter of who. We kind of know the main players, but. Expect a more technical. You'll see the better the riders, they can show out, and then it's not so much just the bike circuit. So I think it's a good look.
Okay, no doubt. Tyson, man, what are your thoughts, man? Is this track growing on you? I didn't ask. Do you play like the MotoGP game, and have you done some laps yet?
Yeah, I don't play the MotoGP game. I do some like car sim racing from time to time, but I'm pretty indifferent about this track, frankly. I could care less if it was on the calendar, but I do agree with the other guys though that it is a technical, tight track, and I do like that they have this style of track on the calendar. I think it's a nice change of pace from the big GP tracks, and can really, some of these manufacturers maybe not have the highest top speed, and these smaller, tighter tracks, it gives them an opportunity to have some good finishes. So I do like seeing them on the calendar. It's just this specific track, I have no real strong feelings for it.
Gotcha. I feel you there.
Do we know if they're going to fix any, like, wasn't there complaints about safety last year? Do we know if they fixed any of those things?
I don't know. I don't think so, because Superbike was already there. World Superbike was already there. I don't believe they have.
That's a change.
And that was the craziness at World Superbike when that happened last year for them. I will say this: we've said that MotoGP should have another track in the U.S. And after going to Road America, I think Road America would be a great track for MotoGP. And granted, the amenities may not be, what we would like it to be, as far as, paddocks with doors that close and all that fun stuff like at Loudon or Homestead or Daytona and stuff like that. But it's a 4-mile track, 4+ mile track. And so it's not a small one. I mean, the airport infrastructure, it's a nice area out there. Road America would be a good track for MotoGP to come as a second place. And, if the crowd was over 60,000+, if that's to be believed, that's still rivaling numbers of what MotoGP brings at Austin.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice. Go ahead.
How far is Mall of America from ROA?
Oh gosh, that's in Minnesota, so a whole different state. But I don't know how close that is. You know what I mean? So I would have to get a little closer to my computer screen to do that. But I don't know how. But I think flying into Milwaukee would be fine. You know what I mean? But it'd be interesting, man, because it is a big track, and you don't realize how big it is, and I'm so used to going to tracks that are so like, I mean, you think of a 2 mile track or whatever. I'm like, you think of Loudon, and Loudon, 1+ mile or whatever, and it's like you get to a 2 mile track and you think, wow, that's a big track, but then 4 miles, it's like they go down the straightaway. Man, you can go to the bathroom and come back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, no, 4 miles is a long time for them to come around.
Yeah.
And, I was just like, because they were doing like, I don't know the exact lap numbers, but I looked up and there's like 12 laps to go. And I'm like, did they just start? Usually 22 laps. But when you got a big track like that, you can really, cut down the laps. So, that is, I mean, I haven't done any laps on it personally, but I'm a big fan of Road America for sure. But let's talk about our picks, guys, before we get out of here. Or actually, we'll go around and, you guys can talk about what I may have not brought up that you might want to talk about, and we can go around the horn and chop it up. So we'll start with Harry-O.
I just want to say one thing, and it's got to only deal with Moto America. Something that I watched again, like I watched this race like 2 times. Like I watched race 1 and race 2 in the Super Sport 2 times. That's something that Kayla does that she's going to have to fix, man. It's something about when she turns, she does a leg dangle, but she has both of her legs off the pegs. That's something that she's going to have to fix, because like, especially if she wants to go up the Superbike, if she don't fix that before she go up, that's going to be a main issue, especially with balance, man. That's one thing that I saw that I was a little confused on why she did that.
Yeah, I mean, Kenneth does it. There's a few other riders that's done it. I if I get the opportunity to ask, I will ask.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm curious as well, because I'm like, she didn't always do it, and I don't know if they changed it. And I asked this, with Reese, could it be the geometry? Did they change the geometry on the bike? I know they, but if I get the opportunity to ask, I'll ask.
You saw it though, right?
Yeah. She's definitely doing. I don't think she's out of. I think she's very comfortable doing it.
Yeah, she is. She is.
I don't want to sit here and say like it's gonna make her slow or anything like that, because if you're comfortable doing what you're doing, then you're fine. But she didn't always do it, so I don't know if it's like an injury thing. Where you see guys, change their body position a little bit just to compensate for it. Maybe it puts more pressure on the front end. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a technical thing or whatever, but it is interesting. But she didn't always do it. I don't think she did it last year.
Right. Please find out about that.
Yeah, no doubt. Next round. How about yourself, Jordan?
The only thing I wanted to bring up was Bez having the lap record. I've done plenty of laps, hundreds upon hundreds of laps at that Mugello track on the simulator, the MotoGP game. I can't touch a 45 to save my life, and to do a 43 is I'll be scratching my head out all day long, because I change setups up and down and do everything, and I'm no slouch in the damn game either. So for him to do the first 43 at his home track, that was a beautiful sight, and just an awesome lap to see.
Yeah, no, that was pretty impressive. It's funny, I haven't done I don't remember what my times are, but I've been mostly playing Ride 6 lately, and I'm hard-headed, so I just use not a stock V4, but a V4S that I race, and I got like a 150, and I was like, no, that's not bad on a stock bike. It's not even like a superbike built, but it's pretty. I find it's hard to go fast at that track, man, when you try to chase them times down. So for him get that 143, absolutely right. But I definitely thought about that as well. I was just kind of like, man, he like that needle has moved a lot.
It's moving. I'm telling you that I'll put the Ghost on, like whoever has the top record or something, and I'll be chasing him. I'm telling you, I've spent hours chasing, man. And for him to do a 43 is just like, I don't know, it blows my mind. That's hitting your markers and some like that. It's nutty. That's nutty lap.
Yeah, and I'll say this, right? I don't think it's and some because it didn't look like he was like I would say like what Top Rock was doing on the BMW was and some. He's not like that out of control yet. He's not like I'm losing it here, losing it there yet. So I mean, it's possible the dude could even go faster because like imagine when you like anything when you're feeling it, you feel like you could do no wrong. I don't think he's gotten to that point yet. Where you saw that with Gonzalez when he got pole position, right? He was just kind of like, "It was the best lap I've ever done in my life." So, what are your thoughts, not thoughts, Tyson? Anything I missed that you want to bring up, man, before we get out of here?
I just was casually looking at Moto America standings, and I know Harry brought up Kayla, but I just thought it was really impressive that she's third right now in Supersport, only 9 points behind Josh. You really don't see a lot of women in racing, and especially motorcycle racing. And it's good to see. Sure, it's a little bit more physical, whatever, but I don't really see why women can't, be competing with the guys and showing how fast they are.
Right. And yeah, I agree. And, when I think about that because, I've been on the record and I'll continue to say this. I don't know if she's had the opportunity to go to World Super, the WCR series, but I thought it was like, okay, go there because you're on the world stage. And I think that series is a bigger series than the U.S. just because it's World Superbike and they're part of that, right? But for her to be there and fight in the top three, last year she was top 5, top 6, to be top 3, and she's not satisfied. It is pretty impressive to see, and she wants to beat the best. So and so for her to do that is to race with the guys, and that's what she's been saying. And she's only 18. Yeah. So it's like, imagine.
Super young.
Yeah. So it's like the next couple of years, if she can stay healthy, she's going to be winning some championships. She's going to be up there in World Superbike on the Superbike at some point. It'd be interesting to see what happens there. I think the Superbike is going to be more taxing on the body. And so I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm not going to sit here and say she can't because I don't know how strong Danny Pedrosa was. So, and he was able to move the GP bikes around, you know what I mean? And so I think as long as she can physically move the bikes around and she's going to be even pretty impressive in on the Superbike. So, and there's no reason at this point to say, she couldn't get on a Superbike team. Now, I assume she'd want to be on a team that she can fight for titles for. But I think if she stays in worlds in the super, I keep saying world, but in Moto America Super Sport class, another 2 years, I think she still can win a title this year, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say she can't win a title because she's down 9 points. So she still can win a title this year, but I think
she's down 40 points from first.
40 points. But I don't
points from second.
Gotcha. I don't see. I think it's doable in the next few years. I think she's a rider that she can win a title in the next few years easily.
Can I say one thing on that note? I don't think she needs to go to Superbike. I think she, after this season, if she gets the opportunity, I think she should go to Moto 2. I think that's what she needs to be. Because I feel like and this just to bring this to attention. Did you see what happened to the American riders that rode the Harleys, the baggers, in Mugello? Mugello? Yeah. I was a little taken back from that because I'm like, here it is, Wyman he's the king of the baggers, and then all of a sudden here goes Ione coming off Superbike last year, jumps on a freaking Harley and dominate.
Yeah, but that's
dominate. The Harley's supposed to be the American thing, right?
They don't call him a maniac for nothing, baby.
Man, he dominated.
Yeah,
dominated. I was a little as an American, as a patriot, I was a little upset, man. Yeah. Just being completely honest, I was a little upset because I thought for sure. On America, this is what we do in America, and to get dogged like that, man, that was
You know, I was gonna say it's because they were at Mogello, but they did the same thing at Coda. So, so yeah, you're right.
It's just like you look at Moto 2. I'm looking at what's going on there. You know, we have our only American, and then we have Salach. What nationality is Salach, or where is he from?
I think he's Spanish.
Yeah, he's whooping the floor with Joe Roberts right now. Joe Roberts can't touch the guy. Yeah. So it's like we're going to have how much longer are we going to even have an American racing team in Moto 2 with an American in it? You know, it's good for branding, but you know, I've been watching Joe's last couple of performances, and it just isn't there. It's not clicking. He's right around the 15th. His qualifying hasn't been up there, so American racing it may be with no Americans shortly. You know, so it's like, well, what the hell's going on?
Well, it's gonna be just racing next year.
I see your point. I see your point in saying that Kayla should go to Moto 2 to get that experience because you know, I think it helped Sean Dillon Kelly.
Maybe she should take Joe's spot.
Yeah, right. She should.
That's her road. That's the road right there. Boom, Joe. Hey, you got to go. Boom. He can come back in Moto America and
take her spot. You know, take her spot.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. I like the sound of that, man. You know, we'll ask that as well. I'll mention that Jordan from the show. I asked, you know, would you go to Moto 2 if there was a seat available, and they came calling? Because you're right, the American racing team should come calling. But you know, it is what it is. Let's pick our picks for what you think the top three are going to be in the sprint and the main race. And then we get out of here, guys. If you need some time, well, we'll start with Harry. You got your pick? You ready?
Sprint. I have Jorge Agura, and Digi. I think Bez might be on pole, but I think he's going to crash.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. No doubt there. Jordan, you ready?
I'm ready. I'll go. I'll go Martin with Pedro Acosta second, Bez third for the sprint main race. Bez to win, Jorge second, and my third would be Digia.
Okay. I think we're kind of hovering around the same ones, man. Tyson, you're gonna pick Cal Crutchlow.
Yeah, right.
Change it up.
Just off vibes, I guess.
Stay home, man.
Actually, you know, I'm gonna pick Crutchlow, Piro. But seriously,
Folger, right? Didn't Folger? Y'all was supposed to do a race too.
Yeah, he raced in France.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then Salvadori as well. But no, seriously though, I'm gonna go with Bezzecchi, Fabio, Di Giannantonio, and Acosta. Those would be my picks for this weekend.
All right, and both races, or?
We're doing race to race. Oof. I'm gonna say Fabio, Acosta, and Agura for the sprint, and then I'm gonna go Bezzecchi, Fabio, and then Martin.
Okay, all right, that's what's up.
I didn't pick my Sunday.
Go ahead. My bad.
Sunday, Martin, Digi, and Acosta. I think Bez is gonna crash out again.
No.
I think he's gonna crash out of the sprint and the main race.
He's gonna go. He's gonna go on a tear. He's gonna have a little tear. I think that the pole position and, you know, winning at home, two ways. I mean, I don't know how much you guys watch tennis, but some of these tennis folks, they'll win one of the big tournaments and then go party and then come out and be out quick in the second and third round.
Yeah.
It's either you wake up the next day and go to work, or you wake up the next day and go back to sleep.
So it's just a clay. It's just clay. It's just clay.
Yeah, it's just clay.
Yeah, it's just clay.
No doubt, no doubt. There's some good numbers, guys. I appreciate everyone tonight. For real, I want to thank Jordan for coming on. I want to thank Harry O with Two Wheels One Chain, Tyson from up north. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. Peace.